Here we are. It is February 6th, and it is about 12:30 Eastern Time, 12:24. It's 10:24 Mountain Time, and just kind of a midday recap. So we have the NASDAQ down about 75 points. Started up, but it's starting to move downwards. The VIX, which is the volatility index, is still under 14. So typically it shows that there's not a lot of concern about risk in the market. That's something to look for. And then if we look at crude, crude's up almost $1, just 95 cents. So it kind of fumbled off the start, and then it's grew, it took off, and then it dropped, and then it took off again. So we'll take a look at oil stocks, and then the Dow, and the Dow's up slightly at 72. S&P's down slightly at -5. So if we scroll through the list, a couple of movers today, for sure. So we're seeing, for one, JB Hunt, which is a transport company. It's up $4, and they announced earnings, I think, a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. This is a weird move, and I'm not sure what's driving that, but that's one where I would look for a pullback on unless we hear news as in regards to why we're seeing that kind of a spike. So that's just one that is kind of abnormal. We can see Enbridge back up to 47. I think its earnings are this week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 3 days. So I think we should have some positive earnings, pretty stable company. I think you're probably going to see it go to 50, 51, somewhere in that area. Another, not major mover, but mover for sure today was Con Ed. So Con Ed yesterday closed down in the low 89s and is now up in the low 90s. So that's a dollar spread, or about 1% of growth there if you were to caught it near the bottom yesterday at end of market. Valero is kind of up and down. I think Valero is moving into a buy position right now, because it's dropped down into the 140s. If it crosses and goes below 140.40, I think it's a great buy, because I think it'll go back up to 141. And in fact, I think it's going to drop down and maybe get into the 139s and then take a reversal and go back up. So I'm holding off on that, but you've seen some big spikes there, and it's moving in the opposite direction right now of crude. So crude is spiking higher, and that should bode well for most oil stocks. One of the ones that bounced today, or dropped today at open, was SLB. So I got into SLB in the 47.80-ish range, and then got out in around the 49.20 range. So that was a nice little pop there based on that dip. I think there's room for it to continue to go up, maybe up to 48.60 today, maybe 49 today, based on where crude's going. CVE's made a great comeback again. I love this stock. I think you're going to see positive earnings come out in 9 days. I think you're looking at $23 to $24 in around that time, based on what it's been doing recently and the movement in crude. I am surprised about Exxon and the fact that it's not moving up more. It's kind of stuck in this 101 to 103 range. I would have expected this stock by now to be 106 to 110. Maybe that's going to happen next week. We'll see what happens. Both it and Chevron had good earnings. Chevron seems to be moving and doing more than Exxon, so I'm not sure what's leading to that, all told. I'm loving right now Cloudflare and BABA and ARM. So Cloudflare, BABA, and ARM all announced tomorrow on Wednesday. And based on some of the earnings and some of the, obviously, the AI adoption, the growth in IT spending, all companies focusing on AI and the need for security, I think Cloudflare has a high likelihood of surpassing earnings expectations and getting a bump higher on earnings. So I've purchased some Cloudflare today for the first time. I've never owned it before. And I've also purchased some ARM this week in the 72 range. So it's down a little bit right now, but I think it's a great buying opportunity. I think this is going to pop. I mean, from everything I'm reading and hearing, ARM is involved in everything to do with the semiconductor chips that are driving AI. And NVIDIA is a big investor. A lot of the larger chip manufacturing and chip design companies have put money into ARM at the IPO. So I think it's a solid buy. We saw good results come out of On Semi earlier this week. It's off a little bit from a high of 77, 78 yesterday, but I think it has good potential going forward, and it's at a very attractive price point in the semi range as well. I'm staying away from AMD right now. It had less than positive things to say about its 2024 forecasts. So maybe it's setting the bar low and looking to exceed those, but I'm personally staying away from that. And then as we scroll down through the list, BABA. So I think BABA is a strong buy for tomorrow. Earnings first thing in the morning. A lot of potential positives coming out of Xi Jinping, if I'm saying his name right, and China. He's really screwed the pooch over there in the last couple of years. I mean, with Trump increasing tariffs and then Biden sticking with them, he's kind of screwed exports for the country. The real estate market there is in the shitter with Evergrande going bankrupt and going into insolvency. He's put big kind of taxes on the tech sector and really implemented some big restrictions that they're now talking about potentially lifting, which has hammered the Chinese consumer and all investors in the stock market. Like the only other thing, oh, and he's polluted the whole country as well with their industrialization and the developments that no one's living in. Like this guy is past the trifecta of mistakes and is likely to be, in my opinion, should be removed from power. But nevertheless, maybe he'll turn around things by reducing restrictions. And if he does, we'll see a bit of a tech bounce in the market, specifically in the Chinese stocks. Nvidia is off for the day, but it's had a huge spike. I mean, this could be a buying opportunity. I'd still look for it to drop a little bit more. I like Google, but not until it gets into the 130 range. I bought some Adobe today. I'm down a little bit, but I'm convinced it's going to go back into the 630s, 640s. So there should be a little bit of room for profit there. I'm still waiting on SoFi. If it drops below 7, I'm definitely going to buy some of that. And then I kind of put everything else on hold. I'm looking at M&T, what's going on in the regional banking. I like M&T at 129 or lower, so in the 120 range, even high 120s, but staying out of it in this range. I think it'll go 134, 135, so I might miss out on that little springboard, but that is okay. And the rest of this is just kind of in ranges, so I'm just watching and maintaining some cash if there's an opportunity to buy. So that is your Feb 6 update. I hope this is helpful.